Welcome to the Atlantico podcast, where we talk about the science behind the Atlantico project, the Atlantic Ocean, and the human adventures experienced along the way. Here, we have conversations with guests from around the world who work together so that we can better understand, manage, and protect the ocean. So let's embark on the journey of Atlantico and discover the world that lies above and beneath the surface of the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. Welcome back to the podcast, and in today's episode we are discovering another research and innovation project which is working on advancing science and technologies that contribute to the advancement of marine sciences and its applications. And all that so that we can improve our understanding, management and protection of the oceans. And our guest today is Sara Pittonet. She is the coordinator of the Horizon 2020 Blue Cloud project. So let's discover more about Sara and about Blue Cloud. Welcome to the Atlantico podcast, Sara. It is a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Hi, Eloise. Many thanks for inviting me to this podcast series. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's a pleasure shared. And actually, before we talk about the Blue Cloud project, I would like to get to know you a little bit more. And this is something we do with every one of our podcasts. We like to get to know our guest a little bit. Can you tell us about you, where and how your connection with the ocean started, and as well as your journey leading to where you are today?
Well, I should go back to my birthplace, actually. I grew up on the northeast coast of Italy, on the Adriatic Sea. And I have a master's degree from the University of Trieste, Italy, which is today a prosperous trading hub in the Adriatic Sea. And the International and Diplomatic Sciences course where I graduated from is located in Gorizia, a lovely small town, which is 30 kilometers far from the sea up in the hills. Today, I'm a senior project manager at Trust-IT, an ICT-intensive SME, which is based in Pisa, which was one of the four maritime republics in Italy in the 12th century. Now, due to coastal changes, the lagoon disappeared, and today Pisa cannot really be considered a coastal town anymore. But I still consider myself privileged to be able to enjoy in a very few minutes trip one of the most beautiful areas of the Tyrrhenian coast. And if we move from a geographical perspective to a more disciplinary perspective of my career, over the last 12 years, I've been communications and outreach leader for several open science research initiatives, ranging from biodiversity to ICT, from data infrastructure to fair data management. But it's with Blue Cloud that I've really started grasping how much open access to data coming from the seas is fundamental, not only for the many connections that marine science has with many other disciplines, from biology, environmental sciences, food sciences, but also because the marine one is such a complex and complete ecosystem and a perfect playground for research management issues. I joined Blue Cloud in early 2021 as project coordinator, coordinating a team of 20 partners, bringing together leading European marine data infrastructures and horizontal infrastructures, offering services to the European Open Science Cloud. But what's more is that these organizations where we collaborate with in Blue Cloud have all been working together on marine economic topics for many years. So despite the fact that we are dealing with true innovative endeavors in Blue Cloud, we are at an advantage to work with an already strong established community who have been dealing with challenges for over 10 years now.
So that sounds really good, and I can't wait to hear about the project. So before we get into sort of the details of the project itself, it would be good to understand more about the context within which the Blue Cloud project exists. So if you could explain to us what the specific challenges the project is addressing and really what the needs behind the project are.
Thanks. So in 2016, the European Commission launched the European Open Science Cloud Initiative, EOSC, to provide a virtual environment with open and seamless access to services for storage, management, analysis, reuse of research data across borders and disciplines. Blue Cloud, as the Future of the Seas and Oceans flagship initiative of the European Union Horizon 2020 program, is the thematic EOSC for the marine domain. Blue Cloud developed a collaborative web-based environment that enables open science. It provides simplified access to an unprecedented wealth of marine data resources and interoperable tools. Blue Cloud is introducing a de facto federation, taking place at 3 levels: the level of the data, the computing resources, and the analytical services. For each of them, Blue Cloud orchestrated mechanisms that successfully established interoperability and resulted in 3 main services. At the level of the data, Blue Cloud developed the Data Discovery and Access Service, which is a search engine that facilitates discovery and retrieval of data sets and data products for multiple Blue data infrastructures. Circa 25,000 entries are indexed at the level of the data collections, while using additional search criteria per each data infrastructures, users can access more than 10 million data sets from a wide variety of disciplines: physics, biology, geology, bathymetry, chemistry, and more. At the level of the computing resources, Blue Cloud developed the Blue Cloud Virtual Research Environment, facilitating access and orchestration of computing and analytical services for building, hosting, and operating virtual labs for specific applications. And at the level of the services, we released 5 virtual labs configured with specific analytical workflows and serving real-life demonstrators in biodiversity, environmental science, fisheries, and aquaculture, which can be adopted and further adapted by other communities. Overall, we count 16 services currently available from the EOSC marketplace provided by Blue Cloud.
A lot of effort to build that platform and these resources. And before we go into what the project set out to achieve, I want to ask you, who uses these resources? Why are they there? Who's going to access them? Who's going to use them? And how does it help us to better manage the ocean and its resources?
So we said that Blue Cloud services explore and demonstrate the potential of cloud-based open science. Blue Cloud will also evolve the fair digital ecosystem of Europe in support of applied research of the ocean, seas, coastal, and inland waters. I think the best way to answer your question is to highlight the 2 main groups, stakeholder categories that Blue Cloud is currently dealing with. So in the Blue Cloud roadmap, which is the strategic policy recommendation document that is being finalized these days, we define Blue Cloud as a cornerstone linked to strategic frameworks for research in Europe. On the one hand, Blue Cloud will offer its data framework to bridge the gap with European Open Science Cloud, so supporting the verification of marine and freshwater data and facilitating multidisciplinary research at a wider scale. On the other hand, Blue Cloud is supporting the development of the European digital twins of the oceans, which is the European Commission effort under the Green Deal agenda to set up a digital representation of the ocean for the benefit of researchers, industries, policymakers, and society in general, to which Blue Cloud can offer the virtual research environment, so the infrastructure that provide cloud storage and computing capabilities to those communities in charge of the data modeling, as well as the other background services for data collection and data management.
Excellent. So that is very useful to a lot of people and central, to delivering and supporting a lot of the efforts that are being ongoing and that will be in the future, addressing climate and ocean sciences challenges. So Blue Cloud, actually, it started just about over 3 years ago in October 2019, and it will actually end in a few months in March 2023. So as the project is nearing the end and this adventure is coming to a close, can you share with us some of the results and achievements of the project?
That, I'll admit, is my favorite question. And I'm also pleased to say that the efforts will not stop in March, but I'll save this for later, can I? So I've mentioned three main services the Blue Cloud developed, namely the data discovery and access service, the virtual research environment, and the virtual laboratories. But what's really significant is looking at what results have been achieved thanks to the combination of them. So these days, for instance, we are releasing a series of fact sheets telling, for instance, about the zooplankton phytoplankton essential ocean variable products virtual lab, one of the virtual labs that we released, that provides a description of the current state of plankton communities. It has been used by an international team of scientists to develop a wildlife tracker for oceans, a tool dedicated to real-time assessment of marine protected areas. The software is able to retrieve live feeds from satellite constellations for animal tracking and Copernicus for ocean biophysics data to visualize the movements of marine megafauna with real-time feed. So it addresses two sustainable development goals of the United Nations, namely the 13, climate action, and 14, life below water. Another case we are really proud of is the pilot application that was awarded first prize at the Blue Cloud Hackathon in February this year, 2022. The Particle Trackers is a group of 8 early career ocean professionals based in the Netherlands, UK, Switzerland, and in the US, who developed See Clearly, a tool based on an open access modeling framework to track particles to have the origin of microplastics that reach aquaculture cages using the location of the aquaculture farms that was provided by the Blue Cloud Aquaculture Monitor, another virtual lab, and provide recommendations for where to place aquaculture cages to decrease the probability of pollutants reaching them. Lastly, we're also very proud of collaborations undergoing with other projects funded by the European Commission, like the JONAS project, for instance, that is working to streamline underwater noise and the threats that this causes to sensitive species in the Northeast Atlantic, for which Blue Cloud is developing a dedicated virtual lab. Or how the citizen science and industry data from the Black Sea produced in the framework of the DOORS project will be made available via the Blue Cloud data discovery and access services, and from there shareable with other partners working in the region.
That's amazing. A lot of things achieved in the last 3 years, and I can say we were following the hackathon that you mentioned, because one of our students, one of our early research career that was recruited on Atlantico, participated in the See Clearly, the winner of the hackathon. So it was a great achievement, I think, on both sides, and it highlights how we can work together in different projects and realize great things. So yeah, as we mentioned, the project is about to end, and I have seen on your website, for example, that you have a roadmap to 2030. So I'm sure that there's still a lot to come. And can you maybe tell us about what is coming next?
Of course. Blue Cloud Roadmap identifies a series of strategic goals for 2026 and up to 2030, and an action plan working on 5 strategic paths. One on to sustain the flow of fair and open ocean data. A second, to continue the development of innovative data analytics methods. A third, to expand the data federation to other key marine research infrastructures and initiatives. A fourth, to stimulate ocean open science community and leverage their skills, so with a training component. And a fifth, to continue connecting to a European and global knowledge system in support of the EU Green Deal and the United Nations Agenda for 2030. And all of them actually are at the core of the upcoming Blue Cloud 2026 project that was awarded by the European Commission. It is currently in its negotiation phase, but it will start at the beginning of 2023.
So I think that means we'll have to meet again and talk about that new project, what that one is going to achieve and all the results that are still to come. I have just a quick question, because we mentioned twice already in our conversation fair data. So for our listeners that might not be really aware or, involved in data management, what does it mean? Why is it so important to have fair data? What does it actually mean, fair?
Yes, so FAIR is an acronym. It stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And it's a definition that has been defined in 2016 by a group of researchers who proposed a group of guiding principles that should guide the data management, scientific data management across disciplines. And the human component is an important one in this framework. It was so in 2016 when the principles were established and the stewardship's element was embedded within the definition. And today things are evolving, and the FAIR principles are being transferred also to machine learning technique, to other aspects of data management. And that's why they're becoming more and more important to ensure transfer of data across disciplines and research communities.
Yeah, so fair data means that anybody, anywhere can find data sets, all the metadata, so the data around the data, so that they can use it easily, they can use it across different platforms, etc. So it's really making the availability of data open and easy for people from different domains in different places, so that the results and the data created in research can be used beyond what it was created for in the first place.
Exactly, reused and reusable by different tools and software as well.
So something really extremely important, and that everybody has to implement in their own project. How can people know more about the project and, all the different results you've been sharing with us, and also find out, of course, and follow all the future activities?
Yeah, so of course we have a website. So the first way, to stay tuned is looking there and follow Blue Cloud on our social media. We have a Twitter and LinkedIn profiles. But we are also going back to meeting our stakeholders in person. So we are very happy to organize a physical session at the upcoming EOSC symposium. The symposium is part of the calendar of the events of the Czech Republic in the framework of the country's presidency in the Council of the European Union. While on the 8th of December, we'll welcome all Blue Cloud stakeholders in Brussels for our final conference in the beautiful Residence Palace. And there we will gather representatives from the European Commission, Directorate General on Research, the governance of the European Open Science Cloud, and members of the European Digital Twin of the Oceans initiatives. But Blue Cloud is also one of the data providers involved in the Ocean Hackathon 2022. It is taking place in 13 cities worldwide from the 2nd to the 4th of December this year. So, we really never stop.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it never really stopped. So Sara, I have to really thank you for taking the time talking to us about the Blue Cloud project, but also the next project that's coming up, and for sharing your insights on all of these important topics. And as I said, I'm sure we'll be able to have another conversation when your next project is up and running.
Many thanks, Eloise, and many thanks to all the Atlantico team for this opportunity.
We hope that you've enjoyed today's episode and look forward to seeing you next time. You can follow the Atlantico project on our website on www.atlantico.eu, and you can also find us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. All the links and information on the project and on today's episode is in the show notes. Atlantico is a project funded under Horizon 2020, a European Union research and innovation programme.